What's up, folks? It's Bigboy here. Real Talk RFC Talk Show. I'm sitting here with RFC owner Joe Valdez, matchmaker, president, phenom, Ralph Garcia, owner of World Class Fight League, World Class Martial Arts, former RFC fighter, and main event for RFC 31, Ivan Delvalle. Last show we had was RFC 30. What a great show that was. A lot of new fighters were coming out. We had Alon Cruz fighting Brad May. Alon's a local fighter here from Tampa, trained a lot with us all, I think. Real up-and-coming fighter. He's going to be fighting in RFC 31 as well. But, you know, Ralph, Joe, Ivan, RFC 30, Alon looked pretty strong. It was a 3-round fight against a very tough fighter, Brad May, and he took it off with a decision. What do you think about that fight?
I think Alon's got nothing but potential. The kid's a monster. He's got good ground. He's got good stand-up. Brad May was a good first fight for him, and he got to go 3 rounds, which is what they wanted. They wanted the experience. Now I think you're going to see a different Alon. You're going to see an Alon that's going to come out looking to finish the fight. So I'm looking for big things from him.
Nice.
We've been talking to him because he's saying he's going to finish this fight.
Yeah, Alon's he's training with Team Darkside, Defiant Daniel. Great group of guys there. They got some Bellator fighters, pro team that's off the chain here in Tampa. So look for them guys to be doing a real successful camp for Alon, and those guys are going to be fighting tough on RFC 31. We had Dave Mundell on the RFC 30 as well. He had a big finish, big knockout. Kid's got a great career. I actually had the honor, well, not the honor, but maybe the excitement of having Jay Marrero standing next to me that night, Joe, and kind of wanting that fight, and you made it happen, and you got Jay Marrero on RFC 31, and Dave Mundell had some pretty good finishes. What do you think about this kid, man? He's tough.
Yeah, Dave's tough, solid amateur background, amateur champ, thanks to Ralph, producing a lot of solid amateurs here in Florida. Dave's tough. He's 2-0 now, professional. I'm looking for this could-be fight of the night up there with the main event. Could be fight of the night.
Yeah, both guys were scrappy. What I like about this is this fight was supposed to happen before, but then Dave got hurt and one of his teammates stepped in and fought Jay, and then Jay won that fight. So now it's more of a build-up. So I'm excited about this fight. Like you said, it could be fight of the night. I see it going all 3 rounds.
It's going to be an amazing fight. That's, again, another fighter that's going to be on RFC 31. This card is just going to continue to be amazing. Back to RFC 30, everyone that was there, we saw Ivan here fight Ladarius Jackson. That was a
fight of the night.
3-round war. First loss on Ladarius Jackson's record was given to him by Ivan. That was an amazing fight. Joe, the man's here. Let's tell him what you thought about that fight.
Amazing. A lot of pressure that night. A lot of pressure. Everybody was talking about that fight. Ladarius comes in with a huge wrestling resume. A lot of people thought he was going to be able to take Ivan down and control him. Ivan, Ralph, they worked on. They did what they needed to do. He stuffed the takedown all night. It was fight of the night. You can't say nothing else. Ivan prepared himself to be main event in RFC 31, and he is the new breed, that new MMA fighter.
That's right. And Coach, pretty sure we know what you want to say about that performance, but give us your little thoughts on that.
Well, knowing Ladarius coming in and getting to watch almost all his fights, Ladarius was one of our champions for World Class Fight League, and I got to see him come up. So I knew this fight was going to happen sooner or later. But Ivan followed the game plan to a T. We knew Ladarius would come out on fire with his good wrestling and his strength, and he just did everything we did. We just kept on fighting all 3 rounds, and we knew we'd get the last 2 rounds to be able to get the decision.
And the Mohawk didn't even get messed up. Well, they stayed perfect all night.
The whole time. Ivan, in that fight, what was going through your head, man?
Just sticking to the game plan and just believing in my coach's training and try to breathe and focus on the main goal was to win. So other than that,
I tell you what, let me give Ivan a shout out here, because out of all the fighters I've had, you know this, Joe, I've had guys that you sit there in the corner and I yell out instructions, we have a game plan, and they don't listen, and they do their own thing, and they end up losing.
What Mike Tyson says, everybody has a game plan until they get hit in the face.
Exactly. Ivan, on the other hand, it's like playing a video game. He's like, I have a remote control. Everything I tell him to do, he does.
It's rare.
Split second, no hesitation at all.
It's rare.
Well, congratulations, Ivan. Fight of the night, awesome. Listen, I want to go into another fight that we had on RFC 30. Ronnie the Pitbull Phillips fighting Joe Johnson. Kind of an upset. I thought Ronnie was going to win it, but listen, Joe is a veteran fighter. He went in there, put in his game plan, made it happen, put Ronnie in deep water and dropped him and made him swim back. You had the honor of having Sean Hollis come up to you and call Joe Johnson out.
Yeah, it's been a little bit of a verbal rivalry for some reason, whatever the reason is. Not too many light heavyweights around in Florida. They, you know, and so these guys zoom in on each other. Joe Johnson's been asking for Sean. Sean lost to Ronnie. Joe steps in, beats Ronnie. So that's where it started that night. And I give credit to Sean coming off a loss to Ronnie. Joe beats Ronnie, and Sean says, "Let's get it on."
Yeah, he's got some tough shoes to fill, but I've been seeing him in camp, and he looks good. What do you think about that fight?
That was a big win for Joe Johnson because Ronnie Phillips built up 2 fights in a row in the RFC. He had momentum going. He knocked out Sean Hollis his last fight, so everybody was expecting big things from this guy, and he got derailed by Joe Johnson, which amazed me was he won by submission.
Ex-boxer. Joe Johnson's an ex-boxer. 20-some pro boxing fights and heavyweight.
I never thought it was going to go to
Tough
the ground.
guy.
I thought these guys were just going to swing for it, and Joe Johnson got on the ground. I didn't even know he knew what a Kimura was. and he got the Kimura in and tapped him out.
Hey guys, don't blink on that bout.
Don't blink
on that bout.
That's going to be a good fight. RFC 30 was amazing. If you guys were able to come out, you saw the power that Joe puts into these cards. These fighters are all amazing. Fight of the night was Ivan. RFC 31's coming up. We're calling it New Breed. Joe wants it to be a new breed of amateur athletes that are going pro. We got some amazing guys we want to talk about. Obviously, we've already talked about Alon, but there's another one we want to bring up real quick, and that's Tony Leone. He's a 155 amateur champion. He's making his pro debut. And man, listen, I've match made him. Joe's match made him. We've watched this kid for a while. He's very powerful. I think he's going to have a good future. What do you think about his future in MMA, Joe?
Well, he's one of my favorites. I got to be honest. Tony, Lewis, and Brad Taylor, 3 of my favorite amateur fighters in Florida, and we're lucky to have them all on the same card. Real lucky. Tony, me and you've known him since he's been a baby. I've been watching Tony kickbox, and then he got in MMA. He's tough as nails. Wasn't always in the best shape taking his amateur fights. And he still did good. Look at the fights. Look at the records he has. Last fight he came in great shape. He physically looked better, and look what he did. Looking for big things for Tony.
He's from Ocala, right?
Yeah, he's an Ocala fighter.
Anybody from Ocala?
I knew this was coming.
Leone's a tough kid, man. You know, I remember when I met him, he's a 155 I'm a heavyweight, and he would stand and bang with me, much like this guy right here. You know, and so those fighters are guys who want to fight, and they're the tough ones. Another one is Luis Akira. This is another one of Ralph's fighters that's a world-class fight league champion.
You know him?
I've heard of him, yeah.
A Cuban assassin or something like that. I'm not sure. He's kind of short maybe, but he's an awesome guy, good fighter. I've had the pleasure to train with him. Amazing heart. This is one of his training partners here, his coach. We're very excited to see him fight. And Ralph, you know, with him going pro, is anything different that you guys are doing with him in his camps?
You talk about Colin, what are you guys doing in world class? You got here the main event fighter, you got another amateur star coming out same card?
Keeping it small and simple, man. We only have about 4 or 5 guys that are fighters now at the gym, and everybody is like a family union. Everybody helps each other get better. Martin just had that big knockout on Saturday defending his belt. He was in there Monday and Tuesday helping these guys get ready. So it's like it's a team. It's not a selfish thing, you know.
Is it better? Is it
better smaller?
Helping Lewis out, being in the same training camp that Ivan's in for this fight?
Yeah, most definitely. They've been training together. Every fight camp that we've had, I've always had them together. Where Ivan was going to have his pro fight on your card, and the rest of the guys were fighting in the World Class Fight League. So all the shows were a couple weeks off. So everybody's working together. They're used to it already, so everybody knows not to hurt each other and what each guy likes to do, how to push each other to that next limit. So I'm happy with the guys. We have Blake Smith, we have Martin Vergara, we have Jason Hodge, we got Ivan, we got Luis. Luis actually finished his amateur career 7-0 with the 145 title and the 155 title.
Wow.
So I said, man, I got to send this guy pro.
Yeah. And let me tell you, big boy, both Tony Leone and Luis, they don't have easy bouts starting out. They're both Matt Ferriola and Jason Valley, and they're both trained with the Jungle and with Kevin Abrante over there. And I know he's been training hard with them guys for about a year, so they're coming ready.
Listen, Joe, I hand it to you. On these cards that you make, it's always something amazing. There's 2 more young Amis that I kind of want to bring up, and one is the reality TV show, Brad Taylor, the Country Boy. This guy's got like 30 amateur fights. I tried numerous times to matchmake him in the amateur events, and just no one wanted to fight the guy. So now he's finally stepping pro. I think maybe is this his second or
second pro fight. He had his
fight.
first pro fight out of state. He's 1-0.
Yeah, so he's going to come in here. He's going to get to feel the RFC. He's fighting a tough guy. So it's another new breed fighter that's coming in. Another one, and this is the one I want to talk about. He's fought for you before, Ralph, and that's Abby Vasquez from Team Assassin. 125 pool we're getting here in the RFC is looking pretty good, Joe. So we got some guys that are going to fight, and they're going to be tough at 125. What about this kid Abby? How'd you find him?
Could be the future. I found him at, through the amateur ranks, fighting for Ralph and these other guys. He's 1-0 as a pro now. I think he's going to be the future for the 125-pound division. Has a tough first fight though.
Yeah, real tough. He's going to
with
be
us. Tough
he's
first
going to be
fight.
fighting Rory Every on RFC 31. Well, folks, that ends up for our past show event. We're going to go into our next segment, which our next segment is going to talk about the matchups at RFC 31 coming up next week, July 11th at A La Carte Pavilion. We'll see you there. Welcome back to Real Talk, folks. I'm Bigboy here with Joe Valdez, Ralph Garcia, and the Angry Bird. We're going to talk about RFC 31, which is coming up next week, July 11th at A La Carte Pavilion. Got some amazing bouts. Ivan's going to be the main event. There's a lot of other fighters. It's called New Breed. They're coming out brand new. The first fight I want to talk about, Joe made. Great fight. One local fighter, Billy Quintilla versus Isaac Figueroa. It's going to be an amazing fight. Joe, what was your theory on making that fight there?
Good. Isaac's solid. He's 2-0 as a pro. He's 6-1, 7-1 as an amateur. He's good. It's going to be a good fight. We know Billy. He's very exciting. Kid has cardio that lasts forever. If anything, Billy gets stronger as the fight goes on.
Yeah.
So Billy's only loss was, I thought he was, wasn't ready. The guy had way more experience and it still went to the decision. It was a tough fight.
That was a last-minute fight, though.
Last-minute fight.
That kid, like you said, did have a lot of experience, and Billy said, I just want to fight, so he still fought the guy.
And he hung in there.
Yeah, Billy's coming from Gracie, Tampa South, Figueroa, Team Riot, Jamie Harrison. It's going to be a great fight. That's going to be one of the fights on RFC 31. Another big fight we got, they called each other out, Jay Marrero, Dave Mundell. Mundell is coming off of a great win. He won in Alabama. He's come home now to fight. Marrero's doing good. He's a 1-1 pro fighter, fighting here locally out of Tampa. These guys, good amateur records. It's going to be a solid fight. I'm going to have to go. It's going to be hard to pick this one, Joe, so I'm not going to be able to give an answer on it.
That's why we made that fight, man. It's solid. You got Bamboo's done a great job with Dave. He's amateur, excellent amateur background. Jay Marrero, we know what he is. We've seen him fight. Out of shape, not in the best shape, and still got fight of the night.
He's actually fought the Angry Bird in the amateur fights.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
How
It was I won by unanimous, I believe, but he was really tough.
He's tough as
really
nails.
guy. Yeah, really tough guy. He never gave up. I caught him with a left hook. I think it was the second round, and he came back, took me down. I got right back up, and he was ready to
I've
bang
seen that
again.
fight. That was a hell of a fight.
It was a fight of the night too.
Yeah,
The main
yeah,
event of the
excellent.
night for the AOF, right? AOF.
Yeah.
It was a good
So
night.
look at this. He's seen him recently. Look, even his body has changed.
Yeah, he
the guy
is.
is definitely first time I ever seen him in shape like this. Dave always looks good, very good shape. He'll come into shape. Jay Marrero,
Jay
I'm
looks
looking
good.
for this fight to be real exciting, real exciting.
It is going to be a fun fight to watch. And this card, again, like I said, is amazing. RFC 31. The next one we're going to talk about, I want to bring up the Nightmare, Sean Hollis versus Joe the Puncher Johnson. These guys are two veterans. They're not the youngest of the fighters. Looks like Sean's got something to prove here, Joe.
Yeah, I tip my hat to Sean. He's coming off a tough loss, and he caught out a guy that beat the guy that he lost to.
Right.
He's taking a chance. He's throwing it out there. I love guys like that. I don't like guys asking for easy fights or somebody they think they can beat. Sean wanted to prove himself. He said, Joe, I need this fight for myself. I want to do it. If I can't beat him, then, I know what I got to do.
It's going to be
My
a tough
question
one.
is, where's Sean's training? Where's he training now? What's he doing for his camp?
I believe he's been training with Team Dark Side, I believe, and Yosmani Cabezas. And I'm not sure if Bill Banks anyway. That's where I know. And Sean's a personal trainer. He's over physically. I've seen the guy walking around solid with abs not too long ago at 230.
Wow. Guy's a beast. He comes in here quite often, and I seen him last week, and he looked like he was in top shape for this fight, so I'm excited about this one. July 11th, RFC 31. Let's get on to the main event. This is the fight no one wants to miss, not even myself. This fight has history. This fight is a Florida state title, 155 pounds. It is going to be between Ryan Hudak Keenan and not the Angry Bird here himself. Listen, I can tell you from personal experience, I've trained with both of these fighters. I have a little bit of history with both of these fighters, and again, Joe, you do it to me every time. I cannot even come close to picking who's going to be in this fight. The only thing I'm going to be doing is probably hiding in the back because I don't want to watch because it's going to be crazy.
Well, I'm going to watch, bro. I'm going to be right there. I'm not going to miss it. Like I said, I posted, and no bullshit. These two guys are two of my favorite fighters. I know, and it's just a mentality, the way they are. I mean, you offer the fight to them, to both of them. I don't care. You know, he's good, he's tough, I want the fight. They jump. They're both the same. They got that mentality. When they come out that night, they both come out that night, they're coming to take the other guy's head off, put on a show. Nothing's safe. They're not looking to lay and pray. They're not looking to get by. They're coming. That's what they are. That's in their DNA. They don't know no other way to fight but come out and fight. I love both them guys.
I'm excited. I'm a big fan of both these guys, so I'm excited to be in the corner, and I'm excited to watch this fight. So to see how it plays out. Keenan, I got to see him fight a few times at RFC when I used to commentate. Good camp, tough kid, comes to fight. First time at 155. Ivan used to be at 170. Ivan's undefeated amateur, undefeated as a pro, coming in, got the confidence, got the momentum going, been fighting consistently, so I'm excited.
Who, this guy? This guy right here? Oh, man, listen, Ivan, first time in your pro main event. You've had a couple amateur main event shows, but this is a pro main event. This is a Florida state title. Is there any added pressure now, or do you just feel like it's just another day of camp?
It's just another fight. I mean, I think the hardest pro fight I've ever had was my first pro fight. Other than that, I feel confident in what we're doing at the gym. I feel in top shape. I haven't stopped training since the last fight. I think I took 2 days off, and I was back in the camp. And I'm excited to fight somebody that's gonna bring it. You know, that's what we're here for. We're here to bring a show. We're entertainment.
See that what he just said right
and
there?
I'm ready to fight. I don't want to fight nobody easy. I want to fight hard people. I want to build my name up there, no matter what it takes. So
Yeah, that's exactly what Ryan Keenan said. They told him about Ivan because he didn't know who he was. Everybody told him about Ivan. He said, Joe, I like what I hear about that guy. He's the type of guy I like to fight. He's coming to bring it. He's going to try to take me out on it. That's what Ryan Keenan told me.
I've never seen either guy in a boring fight.
No,
Me neither. Definitely not. Definitely not.
Do you know anything about Ryan? Do you study your opponents?
I really
before
don't
you
study
fight
my
you
opponents
guys?
because I feel like if you study your opponent, you're going to end up fighting his fight instead of sticking to your game. So me, I just train hard on my game, try to be hit every corner, every angle, try to work on my weaknesses as much as I work out on my strength, and be confident and just trust my coach, like Master Garcia was saying earlier. Just listen to him and act. He's the one with the most experience out around the ring. So I just listen to him and depend from the training. I feel like I have great training partners like Martin, Blake, Luis, Jason, Master Garcia, Coach Cliff, and I don't doubt myself. I just go out there and whatever happens, happens. I'm going for me, I'm rooting for myself. And I got a lot to lose, so I'm gonna bring everything I got for this fight.
You heard it. You heard it right there. Everybody watching RFC 31, a little over a week away. Ivan's going to be main eventing Florida State title against Hudak. You guys got to come. We're going to be going on to the next segment. We're going to be having our picks, talking about the UFC this weekend. We'll see you then. All right, it's time to wrap up Real Talk for this episode, and we're going to go into the UFC picks this weekend. We got some amazing fights again with the UFC. Joe Silva doing his job. Ronda Rousey coming in to fight Sarah Davis. This fight's going to be fun. I always like to watch these chicks bang. These women are blowing up in the MMA sports. Are you excited about this, Joe?
Oh, yeah. I can't wait for this weekend. I love Ronda Rousey. She's one of my favorite fighters. I think it's Ronda #1, everybody else #2.
That's all I'd say, too. Ronda's the most exciting fighter right now. She got the biggest draw, and she's been staying consistent. She's fighting back-to-back all the time. She's going to take a little break, she said, after this fight and fight again in December, but I don't see anything different. Ronda by our mark.
Ronda's tough. You know, this kid.
What do you think?
Ronda. Another one, we got a good matchup here. This is Weidman going to be defending his belt against Lyoto Machida. Good fight, but I'm going to have to pick. I think Weidman's just too much power for Lyoto. I don't think Lyoto's going to be able to do anything spectacular against him.
I agree. Lyoto's hard to fight. He's moved down to middleweight. He's solid. He's big, strong, still fast. He kept the speed at middleweight. But I think Weidman's the future. I don't think nobody's going to beat this guy at 185.
I think first round it's going to take Weidman a little bit to get used to Lyoto's movement, but eventually Weidman's going to get him in the clinch like he did Anderson, and he's got those heavy hands on him. He says Lyoto always leaves his chin up on exchanges, and I think Weidman's going to catch him and Weidman's going to knock him out.
And we agree also.
Yeah.
Angry Bird.
This is a tough one because of karate background. I'm a big fan of Lyoto Machida, but that's going to be a tough fight, so it's going to be hard to pick. I'm fans of both. I would pick Lyoto Machida just because of the background and the style he does.
Well, you got your wrestling side with Weidman.
Yeah, so it's hard to pick. Yeah, wrestling. But I would say I would go with Weidman, I think. Second round.
Weidman across the board. UFC is going to be exciting. There's a lot of local events coming up here in the Bay Area, Central Florida. We like to touch on them, especially with the local MMA. Obviously, we have July 11th, the RFC. Then we have July 19th, AFC in Newport Richey, which is Arena Fighting Championships in Matt Gary. Right after that, we're going to have Rumble in the Dome. That's DeSeals Berto and the Berto family's very first amateur MMA promotion. I think they were the first ones doing it before any of us were doing it. Also, Ralph's going to be going again September 6th with World Class Fight League. A lot of new champions going to be defending those belts, including one of ours. And then you're going to have other shows coming up. I think September, or what was Ross's? The Rival show is coming
October
up.
4th.
October 4th.
Lakeland.
Ross Kellen, one of the pioneers of MMA, throwing a nice show over in Lakeland and for Rival. But listen, you guys catch it out. Go on the websites, RFC website. Look at the dates for the shows. Come out and support local MMA. Great fights coming. We want to thank all our sponsors. No judges needed. Boost 365. Thank you so much for watching Real Talk. Ivan Delvalle, main event. Ivan, you want to thank your sponsors?
First sponsor, I want to thank Anthony Gonzalez. He's been there from the beginning. He's been more than a sponsor. He's been a friend, a great mentor. I want to thank Duckies. I want to thank World Class Martial Arts. I want to thank Coach Cliff for the training and the time he puts out there. I want to thank Title Boxing. Come out and try a class with me at Title Boxing Carewood in South Tampa. And for that, that's it. Caribbean Creole. That's Jamaican Caribbean food.
I'll go eat there where you after the fight.
That's a really good food there. So.
Alrighty, folks. Thank you so much for watching Real Talk. This is Real Talk for RFC 31. The New Breed, July 11th. We're going to be having Ivan Delvalle fighting Ryan Hoodad Keenan. Folks, tune in for more episodes of Real Talk. We'll be coming to you more.